Hello friends, family, and internet strangers. Stephanie here with a new What's for Dinner video. These meals are going to be easy, they're going to be great for weeknights, they're going to be budget friendly. Let's get right into it. First up are some bourbon apple chicken sausages. I got these before the holidays at Walmart, and I will definitely get them again. I had not tried them before. They were very good, but also they were individually packaged, so I could only take out two and not have to worry about the others going bad once they were out of that vacuum sealed package. So I simply sliced those up and cooked them up in a pan with some butter. And that was all I did to those. I also had one sweet potato left from before the holidays because I just have a lot of stuff to use up that I didn't get a chance to do before the holidays. And so I had one sweet potato that was still good. I decided to cube it up nice and small so that it would cook a little faster and mash that up. So I did that while my sausages were cooking, and they cooked quickly. They were already fully cooked. I just needed to brown them on each side. I even could have done this in the microwave, but I wanted to get that nice little caramelization on them with the butter, and they were so perfect. We'll definitely have those again. So if you see them, especially if they're on sale, they have them at Walmart and at Target for that particular brand. Definitely recommend picking those up. They had multiple flavors, but this bourbon apple flavor was so good. I have done sausages like that on my channel before. I love having them with sweet potatoes, and sometimes I'll even chop up apple and put it in with those because any sort of apple chicken sausage is usually my go-to when I get the pre-cooked ones like that. For my sweet potatoes, I simply mashed them with a little bit of heavy cream, a little bit of butter, and some of my corruption seasoning. If you've been around for a while, I talk about that pretty often, but I'll be using it even more now that I have a massive container of it that my mother got me for Christmas. So this is the final product. I served it with a little bit of broccoli. This was just frozen broccoli that I added some butter and seasoning to, and that was a delicious meal. Also, always a classic, I eat mac and cheese on a regular basis. I like plain old Kraft Mac and Cheese. The only difference for the package directions that I do is I add a slice of American cheese. That is something that I learned over on Megan's Kitchen's channel. And then I also usually use less butter than it calls for, and I use a little bit extra milk because that is the taste that I like to go for. Next up is a meal so easy that I put it together in the 2 minutes I had left before I went to work. I found these country style pork ribs for less than $5 at Aldi, and honestly, anytime I can find a package of meat for less than $5 these days, I'm considering that a win. Now, I forgot that I planned on doing this day until I am not joking with you, 2 minutes to spare before I had to leave for work. So I was about to walk out the door, turned around really quickly, went back to the kitchen, pulled out my slow cooker and plugged it in, plopped those in there, put barbecue sauce on the top. I spread them out into an even layer since I was going to be leaving these to cook all day while I was at work, and simply coated them in barbecue sauce. This is the Kroger version of a honey barbecue sauce. That is my preferred one, and put a lid on it and set it on slow cook for 10 hours. Now, I had this a lot growing up, and we always just had it over egg noodles. So that is something I don't see people do very often, but we always had spare ribs with egg noodles, and I hadn't had it in so long. And then all I had to do when I got home was put those noodles in, took out the spare ribs, and they were perfect. And these were just like I remember having when I was growing up. I'm pretty sure this is exactly how my dad would do them, just the ribs and the barbecue sauce. You don't really need anything else to add to it, and that gives it plenty of seasoning. Use your favorite barbecue sauce, but so easy, so budget friendly when you can find them on sale. And then I've got some salad mix that was on sale at Aldi this week. This is a bacon avocado ranch salad mix, and I bulked it up with some extra veggies, some onion, bell pepper, shredded carrots, and then some cucumber. And this is the finished meal. I spooned some more of that barbecue sauce from the slow cooker right over on top of those egg noodles, and they created the sauce for it, and it reminded me of childhood. The next day, I still had some of that salad left over, and I've been trying to clean out my freezer. I was reorganizing it and found that I had 2 chicken patties left, so I just put those in the microwave, chopped them up, threw them on top of that leftover salad, and was good to go. Next up is a lasagna pasta, and this was another attempt to use up things that I already had on hand. I had this mild Italian sausage, ground sausage, in my freezer, and I've been trying to use up what I have in my freezer so I can get new stuff for it when I find sales. So for this sausage, I simply added a little bit of salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic to it to season it up a little bit, and then cooked that over some medium-high heat and got it nice and brown. Now, I knew I didn't need all of this for this tiny amount of pasta I had left because I really wanted to use up this rotini. I only had maybe a third of a box of it left, and so I did not need all the sausage for it. Once the sausage was all browned, I took a paper towel and got some of that grease off of the sausage, and once all of that grease was mainly off of there, I did take some of the sausage out of the pan and save it for a different meal that will be in next week's video because I haven't cooked it yet, but I do have a plan for that one. So I took about a third of the sausage out and left the rest to bulk up that pasta. And then I used some sauce. I always link in the description box when I do use spaghetti sauce. I make my own. It's very easy. We always had this when I was growing up. It was always in the freezer, and I still always have sauce in the freezer. So I had run it under some warm water to thaw it, and then just got those last little bits that hadn't thawed yet thawed in with that sausage. And then to that, I added a little bit of crushed red chili flakes. That's something that you could add to your sauce when you make it, but I don't always want it in there, so I add it on an as-needed basis. And this particular day, I was feeling a little bit of kick. I wanted a little bit of a kick in there. Next up, I take all of my pasta once it's al dente because it's going to finish cooking in the oven. I throw that into my pan with my sauce and sausage. And then I did have a few other things I wanted to add into this as well, some cheeses and some meatballs. So I do also always have meatballs on hand, but I only had enough left to really use them in here. So I threw them in the microwave straight out of the freezer and then cut them up into quarters so it would kind of match with the sausage. It didn't need to be fully ground, but I did want some more bite-sized pieces in there. So used up the rest of the meatballs that I had in the freezer. And then got that all mixed in and well incorporated. And next up, it is time to add some cheese to this because I love some good cheesy pasta. I had a very small amount of mozzarella cheese left, just a little bit left in a bag. So I threw that in as well as a little bit of Parmesan and mixed that in. And then once that was mixed in, I also had made a cannoli cake over the holidays, and I had a small amount of ricotta left because it only called for a little more than half of this package when I made the cannoli cake. So I still had a little bit of that. For about half of what I had left, I mixed it in with the pasta, but I do like ricotta to sometimes be in clumps in my pasta as well, or sometimes I'll put it on pizza. So after I mixed in some of that ricotta, I flattened everything out so I could put some topping on there. I put little blobs of the ricotta around the top of this. And then in addition to that little bit of mozzarella cheese that I had mixed in with the pasta, I had sliced mozzarella cheese to use up as well. So I put the sliced mozzarella on top. I put a lid on this and I put it in to bake with a lid on to really melt the cheese and get the cheeses all incorporated in there. for about 20 minutes on 350. Since everything was hot, it didn't need to go too long. And then I took the top off and let it go under the broiler for about 5 minutes, keeping an eye on it. And then I also had some Caesar salad mix that I had gotten on sale from Aldi. I bulked this one up as well with some cucumbers and shredded carrots. And this is the final steaming plate of lasagna pasta that was so good. And then I was so proud of myself because I only got takeout one night this week, and that is very out of the norm for me. I tend to get takeout a lot, but I'm trying to cut back on it. So I was in the mood for some El Pollo Loco one of the nights this week, and I got a double chicken tostada salad. So that had rice, beans, chicken, avocado, sour cream, and some cheese. And then it comes with an avocado, cilantro, some sort of ranch dressing that goes along with it that has cilantro in there, except it doesn't taste too strongly of cilantro. So definitely recommend that from El Pollo Loco if you have one in your area. Thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, that it gave you some easy meal inspiration. If it did, I hope you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more. Thanks so much for watching.